The saying, "no pain, no gain, even though the pain is temporary," implies that in order to attain one's goals, one must work hard or put in additional effort. To achieve a respected and excellent position, one must overcome several hurdles or challenges. There is always a link between effort and results. Everything we desire to achieve in life is linked to the amount of work we put in that direction. Without effort and hard labor, one cannot expect anything to be accomplished. Furthermore, no one can respect the things that come into their life without any suffering or battle, and they will not reap any advantages from it. Welcome to the YouTube channel, Mr. Motivational Mentor. In this video, we will talk about the famous motivational quote that changed the lives of many and gave them new hope on their way to success. Let's begin the video with "no pain, no gain, even though the pain is temporary." When we endure hardships and fight our way to success, we earn the right to celebrate our achievements. The internal and external suffering that we endure is what ultimately determines the quality of the fruit that we harvest. The benefits that come as a direct result of our efforts are quite satisfying. Great men have demonstrated that the road to achievement is not easy, but that it is always fraught with opportunity if we have the bravery to travel it. To get what we want out of life, we have to be willing to go through the suffering required to overcome the challenges we face and open the door that leads to achievement. There are many things in our everyday lives that show how consistent hard work and effort can make a difference in how successful someone is. When it comes to our examinations, the only way for us to do well is to put in a lot of effort. It is impossible for a student to become an educated person unless and until he or she focuses all of their attention and effort on their academic pursuits. It takes time for an athlete or performer to build up a reputation and fan base. Successful individual has honed their skills over the course of many years of dedicated practice and study. He or she has only become a master of his or her craft and achieved total success because he or she has nurtured and refined his or her skills through unending efforts and persistent labor. This is the only reason why he or she has reached such an achievement. Let me tell you some specific things which are followed by every successful person. Do you know what they are? If not, I am telling you. Number 1. Getting out of one's comfort zone. The majority of individuals adhere to traditional values and would rather remain within the confines of their comfort zone. However, in order to make progress toward our goals and get the things we want, we need to step outside of our comfort zones. The only way we can get stronger to continue the road with more vigor is if we learn how to deal with the challenges that life throws at us. The majority of individuals are afraid of failing, and this fear prevents them from venturing out of their comfort zones and pursuing new opportunities. When we fail, we must not become disheartened, but must instead try again with renewed vigor. The only way to succeed is to learn from your mistakes. If we don't allow ourselves to make mistakes, we won't be able to determine the best way to go. In the modern world, everyone is required to go through the challenging stages of competition and experience failure on occasion. However, the winner is the individual who is able to maintain their power and stamina throughout the whole competition in order to cross the finish line. The majority of people who are successful in today's society probably went through a period in their younger years in which they were subjected to a great deal of suffering, despair, and failure. But they didn't give up and kept working toward their goal. They've now reached the place they wanted to be. Number 2. Make an effort for something that will pay off. For someone to become successful or to do anything of significance, they must be willing to make a lot of sacrifices. There are numerous examples throughout history demonstrating that each movement, discovery, or breakthrough is the result of an individual's initiative, hardship, and endurance. We only see those people who are successful now who continue to flourish and put in a lot of effort throughout their lives in order to achieve that success. Everyone can learn something from the life of Nelson Mandela. Even though he spent most of his time in prison, he continued to fight against racism throughout his whole life. In the end, he was granted his freedom and eventually elected president of South Africa. Because of this, it is imperative that you acknowledge that although circumstances may be unpleasant and unfair, you should not give up and instead strive diligently to triumph over them. You will have to go through some pain and trouble, but in the end, you will almost certainly get something good out of it. There is a well-known aphorism that says, "No pain, no gain," and we have heard of it for a very long time. This adage stresses the need to put in a lot of effort if we want to achieve something worthwhile in life. We cannot hope for success in our lives unless we are willing to endure some level of suffering. Working hard is the only way to be successful, and the path through life is full of obstacles and setbacks that cause a lot of pain. The third of them is the good that comes out of the bad. When we take a glance at the world that surrounds us, we discover many examples that show how any accomplishment or success is the product of a lot of hard work, sacrifice, blood, and sweat. Any fight for freedom or revolutionary movement comes with a long list of casualties, many of which are never acknowledged or memorialized in any way. Independence was won at the cost of significant suffering endured by the committed liberation warriors. In a similar vein, in order to complete their education, a researcher or a scientist would have had to endure tremendous poverty and unexpected difficulties. It's possible that a successful entrepreneur started from nothing and built his company by conquering a variety of challenges along the way. It's possible that someone who comes from a less fortunate part of society may need to be able to bear criticism on several fronts, including social, economic, and political arenas. The main purpose of this video is to assure you that success does not come on a plate. It takes time, hard work, and pain. For example, if we look at the story of the invention of the light bulb, the famous scientist Thomas Edison did not make it easily in a simple experiment. It took him 10,000 attempts to perfect it. Rather than recognizing failure 9,999 times, he is recorded as saying, when asked about his failures, "I have not failed. I've just discovered 9,999 techniques that don't work." So you can imagine how much agony he endured while creating the electrical bulb. The major objective of this narrative is to define your sense of success by demonstrating this success story that no one can be successful unless he endures suffering. Finally, we can conclude from the video, no pain, no gain, even though the pain is temporary, that there is no easy way to achieve your goals. Wishful thinking and aimless sitting can get you nowhere fast. You have to put in the effort to get what you want, and that might be uncomfortable at times. It's possible for the pain to be physical, brought on by strenuous labor or strain, or it might be emotional, brought on by stress and frustration, brought on by setbacks and rejections. However, we must not forget that there is a reward in the form of gain that comes after experiencing significant suffering. If we want to see the good that comes from our hard work, even though it hurts, we need to do it with the dedication, honesty, and patience that it deserves. That is all for today's video. If you found the video interesting and entertaining, please like it and share it with your friends. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any future videos. Thank you, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.